Daybreak.
It's on dual break.
Dual break. Dual break Ohana-ri. And we're going to get over there right now.
Targa's missing left arm in that picture, man.
He is.
See that? It's
Dude,
crazy.
Honestly,
he's like trying to show me a magic trick. He's like,
when I
guess what's in my
first
left
saw
hand?
that picture, I was like, what is that guy's head doing on Jeff's body? That's the first thing I
they
saw.
got pretty similar build.
Like, they have the exact same build. It's insane, man. It looked like.
Pretty funny.
Do you know who it actually looks like? It's like a mesh between Spades and In Control.
And In Control.
Can we get that the versus screen up real quick? I just want to, just really quick. I just want to see that. Just think of that in your head.
I'm imagining it right now. Spades
and
In Control.
All right, cue it. Boom.
Yeah, man, he's got like the really big build
right,
and everything.
For Elliot, thank you.
And wow.
So
that's great.
That is Targa, and he's the Zerg.
And he's got a sick farmer's stand too.
So
man.
it's like In Control and Spades had a baby together.
Or just are confused.
And then
something.
Targa was the end result of that.
And then they end up having a throwback to In Control playing Zerg back in
Boom.
There it is. Speaking of Zerg players, we have ourselves two top-of-the-line Zergs. It is Targa versus Sheth. In the top right corner, we have none other than Sheth from Team Liquid, Sean Simon. He is in the purple, and he is going for a very quick hatchery. In the bottom left, also going for a quick hatchery, we have none other than Targa, member from Team Mindfreak. Mirroring his opponent in the pink, his name is Christopher, with Fs instead of PH.
Yeah, and we do have a slight deviation in both builds. Targa's been doing the same build over and over and over again. He goes for the delayed spawning. I keep doing this spawning pool. And he gets a really fast extractor. Now, Sheth did the more conventional style. You get the extractor a little bit later. It gives you the ability to mine a little bit more, but that does mean your metabolic boost is slightly later as well. For all intents and purposes, both of these players are doing the same exact build.
Yeah, a couple second differentiation, but when it actually comes time to attack or any kind of aggression, it'll line up perfectly. So Sheth is up in supply very minimally, but that's just because he sneaked one extra drone in. So you can see that that's going to carry just a ever so slight advantage, but for the most part, Targa and Sheth, we'll see if they choose to deviate. For now, Targa, he's getting a spawning pool, but still mining gas.
And both of them have already identified that they're each doing expansion, so that will give them the ability to drone up from here. That's just how it is. Once you see that your opponent is going hatchery, you're like, okay, well, they probably can't mount an assault for a while. If they do, I'll see it coming. And they'll be able to get into their opponent's base. Normally, they just make, 2, 4, 6 Zerglings, let them run all the way over, and then metabolic boost kicks in. You know your opponent probably gets it around the same time. You'll be able to react with a huge inject.
Targa is getting a Baneley nest. We were mentioning how he stockpiled extra gas, and so he's preparing for it. Now, how much gas is he going to collect? If he keeps 3 drones on gas, it's still going to be a lot of Banes he can make. And Targa, we saw him earlier go for like a 20 Baneley bust. Yeah. It was insane. And Sheth did end up holding. Now, Daybreak, in terms of holding on this map, explain a little bit about the geography and how what we can expect if Targa chooses to go for some aggression.
Well, there's 2 main attack paths, but more importantly, like, there's different ways to position the overlords. You can see over here and over here. Same thing with Targa. Oh, Targa doesn't actually have a second overlord over there, but there are definitely spots around the map where you can place overlords and know where your opponent is coming from. So that's pretty critical. Right now, this isn't good for Targa. He needs to cover this area and check it out. I like Sheth's positioning a lot better, and it will result in him being able to make better decisions more consistently. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that it lets him make a better decision right here, right now. Targa can always, I don't want to say luck out, but do a better build than his opponent. But it will be with less information. Information is key in StarCraft 2.
Oh yeah, and especially in TVZ, Sheth trying to go for a run by, and he gets it. How many drones will be picked off here? Sheth immediately targeting down here. Now Targa trying to go for a mineral walk and gets a surround, so Sheth is forced to commit. A lot of weak drones. Did he manage to pick off any? But man, Baneley's being wasted 1 or 2 at a time.
he just pressed X on a lot of them and completely botched that. So he lost like 4 Zerglings for that. Not sure what he was doing over there, but
how many drones did Sheth kill?
Let's go ahead and check that out. 3 in total. And let's check the income tab at this point. Now, Targa is moving out. Both these players on very similar harvester counts. You can see Banelings are now made defensively. A little bit different though. Sheth, it looks like, will be in time for this incoming Zergling swarm. Whereas Targa was not.
Sheth has a pretty good position. Love the second spine card placement. Daybreak. Oh, sorry. Daybreak natural is just able to cover everything.
Correct.
And Targa, he doesn't have anything on the production queue, so he was planning on doing a lot of damage with this. 18 more Zerglings on the way. Sheth's Roach Warren is about to complete as well.
Yep.
Sheth looks like he can hold this as long as he can get enough time to get a couple of roaches out.
I think so. And a Baneling will
hit. Oh, he's droning. Oh, man. 8 drones on the way.
Well, these Zerglings will give it away. And let's go ahead and check back and see if he has any larvae in here.
Okay,
0 larva, 0 larva.
No, he
so
made 5
roaches. Okay, that'll do. That'll do, donkey.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
That is an awesome interpretation. And here we go, just like game 1.
14 Banelings.
Sweet, merciful mother of God.
But the roaches are about to hatch. Now the question is where they're going to hatch. They've hatched at the main. No, at the natural. Sheth. Very good management of larva, but there are a lot of Banelings. And look at that spread coming in from Targa. They all collapse onto the first spine crawler, and the drones are next. Sheth running as fast as he can, and he's going to try to just split momentarily, and he baits it. Couple of Banelings go straight forward, and Sheth picks off the remainder. How much damage was actually done? We'll check in just a second, but the aggression has been stopped. 7 drones have been killed, and Sheth stabilizes with the supply lead. A
gigantic advantage for Sheth. The main reason for that is all the gas that Targa mined has been traded. All of it.
Yes.
The roaches, though, stay alive. And if you have more gas in your army in ZVZ, you're most likely in an advantageous spot. That being said, you can look at the units lost tab. That's another round of evidence that tells you that Sheth is ahead. So he's taking his lair. He doesn't want to be counterattacked. Glial reconstitution is probably one of the most important things on this map in particular, because there's multiple ways that Targa can go around, back attack your opponent, and then all of a sudden you're in a position where you're base trading unnecessarily. So I like what Sheth's doing. Just increase your speed for those roaches. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't actually attack. He just went for a third.
As he moves out with his roaches, so.
Well, we'll see.
Sheth, I mean, yeah, we'll see how.
He doesn't have to attack.
He doesn't have to attack. He could wait for his tech advantage to really kick in. His layer's about to finish. +1 will finish. Now, Sheth could wait for +2 and his Glial Constitution if he so desires. Target trying to go for a Muta switch, but Andre, you've been pretty vocal about this in the past. You don't like ZVZ, or so you don't like Zerg players in ZVZ to go Mutas when they're behind.
No, when they're even.
Oh, when they're even. Oh, I thought you said you don't like them
when they're behind. I can understand where they're coming from. They need to do something drastic, but it's never. Mutas are a great way to maintain your advantages, I think. They just counter everything, basically, especially if you're able to cover the ground. You can get your expansion a lot better. Well, they do when you're ahead. You know?
Yeah. So, because you can just keep diving the spores and the queens when you have a big advantage and they can't really do anything. They lose drones.
It's not necessarily that. It's you take map control. You're able to take your third, and you know if your opponent is taking their third or not. Better decisions give you better actions. Better actions let you win the game.
And win the game is the ultimate goal, of course, just because this is the last game of the series, regardless of what happens. Targa has 8 Banelings in queue, and Sheth has 3 roaches that walk up right next to it. So Targa, again, well, he canceled a lot of them, but that was a lot of gas invested. How much gas was actually lost there? If you cancel a Baneling, Andre, you're the math man. How much gas do you lose?
0.
0?
Yeah.
Really?
You don't lose anything.
I thought you lose gas if you cancel Banelings.
No.
What?
No.
Oh, someone's going to have to double check on that.
You're straight up crazy.
Oh, okay. Well, that was I was under the impression it was. But for now, Sheth, looks like he's not mining out of one of the guys. It's not that big of a deal. But, again, he's had that gas advantage for a long time because Targa traded so much for it. He's getting pathogen glands and going to get Roach Infestor. Very staple composition of ZVZ. But the first few mutas are out here onto the field for Targa. Sheth spots it with his overlords.
Oh, my. And Sheth, does he have the material to defend against this? Now, the Spore Crawler is not over there yet. And Sheth might actually lose his third right here. And, you know, I have to bring it back to this. Frodan, if you want mutas, it'll be muta against muta, right? Well, if I have more gas than you, who wins?
The person with more gas.
Yep.
And that's just like the rule of life, man. Whoever has more gas is ruling the world. But we see the mutas are trying to dive the queens. We were talking earlier about that advantage snowballing out of control.
Oh my.
And Targa is all of a sudden taking the supply lead. Sheth getting a little bit careless because he wasn't able to see the tech switch as we see.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't even see a Zergling run by into the main. Now at the third. And Sheth is in a terrible position. This one Infestor is getting caught, and now all these Zerglings are going into the main as well. They run into a lot of roaches, unfortunate for them. But these mutas are just doing an amazing amount of damage. And with all of this, Targa is able to actually claim his third. He is making it in the middle left-hand position. Can Sheth mount an assault?
Those
a defense, I should say.
Taking so much damage at the natural Gretorp, and the muta count is only increasing, or Targa lets it sit next to the Spore Crawler. But Targa is still doing so much economic damage. You can see Sheth not mining from his natural and barely mining from his main. As you can even look at the drone count, 31 to 62. Targa doubles up.
Oh my God, am I going 0 for 2?
Oh, he gets a good fungal.
Nice.
That's a very key thing, because if he can land another fungal, and Targa is going to lose a lot of it. He does manage to kill off that natural hatchery, but if Sheth is able to deal with those mutas, it gives a very thin timing window before he can go for a counterattack.
Here we go. Oh, wow, these mutas are getting picked apart. The queens and the Spore Crawlers are able to do so much damage. You can see Targa is actually still massing up on mutas. So, although mutas do have like a diminishing return as the number count gets higher, he's still going to go for it and try to end it here. Normally when you go mutas, you're not playing towards that super end game stage. You want to be going something like Roach.
Meteor.
Well, Infestors are probably the best, natural progression to that end game stage. And that's not what we see. Oh, God.
Infestatorans dropped here from Sheth as a contingency plan, but again, Targa could just float away. Infestatorans are pretty slow. Now Sheth gonna try to get the damage. The Banes are coming in. Sheth needs to split his roaches. He absorbs a lot of damage here, and some of those roaches are extremely weak. Sheth just gonna resort to taking out as many drones as possible, and that's a lot of roaches from Sheth actually.
Yeah, not bad.
He's been preparing for a while. Targa's third will be sniped as the mutas are trying to save the hatchery, but to no avail. Now, at the same time, Sheth has been preparing a tech switch. He's getting his Hydralisk then, and getting a burrow so he can also save some of those Infestors.
Okay, so this is good and bad. I'll tell you the good first. Gets rid of the third, equalizes the economy, or at least puts Sheth ahead. Of course, we know it doesn't even equalize, but he's saying to himself, it's 2 base against 2 base. At least it's a little bit more manageable here. The bad is that he's lost air control in the beginning. Now he's lost ground control. He's dead in both fronts. So if we're going to look at Army, the Army supplies are relatively... Are they similar?
No.
99 to 58.
Yeah.
No.
Not at all, man. 60 to 100. Targa has a big advantage. The queens are also very exposed. Now, you want the fungals with the queens in unison because the queens obviously have larger range. And Sheth has to be very cautious with how he splits his units.
Oh, wow. Okay, here's the big thing for Sheth, though. Let's look at the upgrades real quick, Frodan. 0-0, 2-1 for Sheth.
Huh.
I don't know how he squeezed those
Well, he
out.
got +1 really early on, and he finished his layer much quicker, so he squeezed out +2. And Targa's retreating.
Yeah, so,
double expanding.
This lack of upgrades by Targa is actually the one thing that might actually kill him. Now, it's all going to come down to this battle, in my opinion. If Sheth can hold here, which is 186 supply to 114, then maybe he'll be able to come back into this, but this is going to be tough. These Zerglings are already sprinting into the main. Look at how much damage they're doing.
And he's got a huge force waiting outside the third in case Sheth responds to the force at the main, and he does. And we see the mutas going first, actually.
No, that fungal! Nice!
He catches around 9 mutalisks, and Targa forced to set the rest of it in, and the Hydras and Queens are having a field day. Targa going to lose his mutalisks first, but is Targa going to push him with the rest of the units? He still has a pretty big advantage, 117 to 82. Sheth's army is still pretty big. Keep in mind, the vast majority of his drones are dead. Oh, Targa trying to go and sweep in and section off some of the units here, but Sheth going in for the sweep. Does he have any Infestor energy for fungals?
Oh, man, and it just doesn't look like it's enough. Hydras and Queens will come from the backside, but maybe, I don't know, good transfuses are keeping those key roaches alive, stopping the concave and stopping those roaches from getting too close to those hydras.
Wow.
So look at that. Sheth is somehow able to stop that force. 106 to 72. The supply from Targa actually plummeted from that fight. A great hold by Sheth.
He was at 170 supply.
That doesn't make sense in my head.
And Sheth was able to really manage it. Great transfuses. And Targa, you know, he got greedy. He tried to move command his roaches because he thought he had good position, and that Sheth got extra damage in. Sheth with a fantastic micro battle and was able to somehow trade pretty cost efficiently. Now, keep in mind, he still has a ways away from coming back fully into this game. Targa has a 4th base up, and he's mining from each base. So, in the end, Sheth still has a mountain to climb, but that was a great step in the right direction.
Yeah, let's be honest, though. Sheth is still really far behind. Targa is doing it right. He's getting his +1/+1 missile attacks and carapace. That's the right way to go. He's also getting his 4th base. Sheth is only at his 3rd. Where is Sheth's advantage anymore? Now he only has a +2 attack over a +1 attack. It's not that severe anymore. That's going to give Targa a really nice advantage the longer it goes into the game. Targa was trying to end it right there. It didn't work. I love the response of what Targa is doing. He says, okay, I still maintain my advantage. Let's go ahead and equalize your advantage, which is the upgrades, and then I'll be able to exercise mine, which is economy.
Yeah, those upgrades and those small little battles there really help Sheth out. Now, Infestation Pit is also on the way, so when Targa gets Infestors out into the field, he'll be in good shape because Sheth did losing several of his Infestors throughout, you know, the mini engagements, and as a result, hasn't really been able to stockpile much. Sheth, let's go take a look at his income. He's still pretty significantly behind, not just in workers, but the big thing will be gas. Income
in both minerals and gas. That's quite extreme. If you look at it, it's what, like 500, 400, 500 more than his opponent? That's a good 40, 50% more income than what Sheth has. The one thing I guess Sheth has going for him is his army composition. He does have infestors out in the field. Those are units that enable him to be a little bit more cost efficient, but at the rate at which we're at, I feel like they need to be, those fungal growths need to do around 150 damage if they want to be super cost efficient.
And Sheth is getting +2 carapace, some banelings as well. He's making his army because he expects Targa to be pushing out. He sees the sharking of Targa constantly moving back and forth, so he can't ever be too sure. But of course, Targa, he's just waiting for his infestors to come out with pathogen gland and get the infestor advantage. And this is where gas really starts to kick in. That's 6 infestors to Sheth's 4 right now, and Sheth's had those 4 for a while. Targa looking very good, and he's maxed.
Yeah, they will have more fungal growths. The Sheths, I should say, will have more fungal growths. But, you know, it's getting scary. I mean, Sheth still needs to make up so much position, which is, of course, the center of the map. The problem with taking the center of the map is it enables your opponent to attack much closer. And at this point, Targa has more hatcheries, he has more income, so he can refuel a lot faster. That doesn't actually help Sheth. Sheth needs to say, come at me. I'm going to receive you very efficiently. Hopefully I can be very cost efficient. And after that, I can maybe take a position because you're still...
It's a big maybe still.
You're still going to have an advantage in that economy. You can materialize that into units very quickly, and then I'm in another bad position. So, you know, all 3 resources for Targa is he has an advantage with. Of course, the 3rd resource being Larva.
He has an economic advantage. He's equalized the tech advantage, and he has the army advantage as well. So Targa firing on all 3 fronts, playing very safe, similar to game number 2, where if we felt he had an advantage, he wanted to really ensure that he can get ahead. He's starting high as well, so he can even prepare a follow-up if his engagement doesn't work, and I like it. You know, he's just not going to throw units away thinking, oh, I have an advantage. You know, I'm just going to try to push it. At the same time, Sheth, you know, as he approaches match, you never know. The Zerg army and ZVZ can snowball out of control, and I love these pack of lings moving towards the top, trying to see if we can go for a run back.
Yep, they will engage on that 3rd base, or not 3rd base, 5th base. Oh, but great fungal growth.
Nice.
This is terrible, actually, for Targa. I don't know why he decided to come up here.
He does manage to get a couple roaches by, though, so Sheth loses that position. Oh, and Sheth had an opportunity to really capitalize on a huge amount of supply here from Targa.
Wow.
But fungals and covering the entire pathway. Sheth saying, "You shall not pass," putting down his fungal staff and preventing from being. Look at how weak those roaches are, and looks like the infestors from Targa trying to do the same to Sheth as he's trying to move up the ramp. Targa needs to get 2 more fungals down here to really lock down the rest of the supply, and looks like he will get it as the remainder of the health will be drained out. Sheth being caught and unable to defend his natural.
Daybreak is such a brutal map for people that aren't able to take position like this. Sheth could have easily come back into this by just trapping maybe 30 supply of roaches over here, but he lets everything through. GG gets called out, and Targa will take it with a 2-1 finish. An impressive series by Targa. He looked so good there.
Yes, great decision making and able to show patience in ZVZ, something that's not often shown, especially by early game aggression. Targa takes the series 2-1. And Sheth has to go back to the drawing board.
Gosh, I am doing terrible in my predictions today.
Well, I mean, Sheth was a good, safe bet. He's been winning a lot of DVZs in the past. We said he managed to beat Lucky and, some other really good Zergs. And, was not able to take out the series, so hopefully he'll come back next week. But Targa, one of these players that people are saying, does he really belong at NASL? The answer is yes.
Of course he does. Taking on an opponent like Sheth, who, let's be honest, is probably one of the best ZVZs in the North American scene, maybe even in the foreign scene. He's played so well, beating players like Stefano, as you said before. He just looks so good, and for Targa to take him out in pretty nice macro games, it's very impressive. Unfortunately for Sheth, he wasn't able to hold down. $150 will be awarded to Targa. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is $150 for every match. Every match counts.
Yes.
So, Targa, congratulations to you.
Well, we want to thank the people who made that series possible. It is iBuyPower, the company that, if you want to order a pre-assembled PC, go to ibuypower.com and get everything you need. Thank you so much to them, and we hopefully, actually, we were talking about we maybe need a few more computers. As
I'm getting one, actually.
You're getting one?
Guess where I'm getting it from?
iBuyPower.com.
Duh. Duh.
We'll be back with more from NASL Season 3 Division 5 here in week number 2. Don't go anywhere. More action is coming up next.